We have no confidence that the police is going to protect us in Edo State. I mean, the Nigerian police, said Governor Inogease Obaseki, Edo State Governor. And I agreed with him. I agreed, 100% agreed with my governor. I trust his sense of judgment. Listen to that.
Of confidence in the police's ability to remain neutral during the Edo elections. It's only a few more days to go. 21 or 21st of September is the date, and today is 12th of September, so we have 12 more days actually to go to the elections. Your take on this story, Rufai?
It's a very sad one. And these are grounds for the president, as the commander-in-chief, to be able to intervene here. See, I don't like to take things at face value, because I like to look for the empirical facts. But some of the insinuations made are now beginning to look like it. When Asue Gudalu, the candidate of the PDP, was here, he made, claims like this. In fact, I remember pressing him for the facts. And he says these people have been arrested and taken to Abuja. The question I would like to ask them is it only the PDP people that are doing all this infraction? What about the APC people and other political parties? Is this a political witch hunt? What is the police IG doing as regards this? Can't their offenses be charged to court already? Why is this happening in Edo? And I'd like to call on President Tinubu, please, we must allow for a level playing field as regards the Edo elections. But also, I'd like to call on Governor Obaseki. It's not enough grounds not to say they are not going to sign the peace accord, or the party's candidate is not going to sign the peace accord. Because not signing the peace accord is a full establishment of the fact that, yes, things might go south. Signing the peace accord is trust in state apparatus to ensure fairness. I know we can go back in history about people who have not signed the peace accord. But it's a trust that people will play fairly. So you say you are not signing the peace accord, then you are not any different from those perpetrating all of this. But we condemn the police and we condemn all of these activities. I want the police to give us a robust response to why people from a certain political party are being arrested. The peace accord, as it is just a convention. There's nothing that binds you to signing it. We all know that. But it's a convention that over the years we've all respected because we want a fluidity. And we want some kind of concord in our electoral process. That's why we signed it.
All right, Dr. Abati.
Okay, the National Peace Committee, as it is known, is part of the legacy of General Abdulsalami Abubakar. The second major legacy of General Abdulsalami Abubakar was that it was the Nigerian head of state who presided over the transition from military rule to civilian rule in 1999, and he did that successfully. I recall that, when we were in government, I had to interface with that National Peace Committee for the 2015 general election. And I was on the phone with General Abdulsalami Abubakar and other members in that peace committee. And President Jonathan, took part in that exercise. Since then, there have been, of course, developments within the National Peace Committee, reminding people of the need for peace in elections at both the subnational level and also at the national level. And if you look at the profile of the members of that National Peace Committee, you have General Abdulsalami Abubakar as the leader. You have the likes of Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Femi Otedola is also a member of that committee. Dame Priscilla Kuye, was also named as a member. Bishop Matthew Asan Kuka, also a member. Commodore Ebichu Ikiwe as member. I can go on and on and on, and from the media, we have our father, Sam Amuka Kwemo, Sam. We have John Momo ON of Channel. So there seems to be a broad-based consensus that elections are not war in Nigeria. Elections must be peaceful. Now, even if the exercise is symbolic at every major election where the National Peace Committee intervenes, I think it is important to remind Nigerians who are perpetually at war over what should be determined by the consensus of the people in every election, symbolically, that election is supposed to be free and fair. To that extent, the legacy of General Abdul Salami Abubakar, I think, is something that should be respected. Now, let me go to Edo State. The grouse of Governor Obaseki is that it looks like the police and INEC are pro-APC ahead of the September 21 election in Edo State. Our position as informed analysts is that election should be determined by the over 2 million people, who are registered voters in that state. Those who have not collected their PVCs, INEC has given them an extension to collect it. It should not be determined by partisan persons who, as Godwin Obaseki pointed out, are trying to use federal might. The second leg of the argument by Governor Obaseki and also the PDP chairman in Edo State, Aziegbemi, is that, look, the police commissioner in Edo State is a pro-Wike person. Wike is featuring prominently. They say whether it's Wike's cousin that is either the police commissioner or the resident electoral commissioner. So the police commissioner, they say is pro-Wike. The resident electoral commissioner, they say is pro-Wike, and that he had even served under Wike before. So you find a situation where Obaseki is afraid that, Minister Wike is going to interfere in the election in Edo State. And he says he has also seen evidence that there is interference. 90 political leaders in Edo State have been PDP leaders, have been arrested by the police. Another 10 PDP leaders have been detained in Abuja, including Collins Aigbogun, the local government chairman of Esam West. This is what the governor is saying, and on the basis of that, he's saying that they may not sign a peace accord because they believe that it has been compromised, the process has been compromised before the election. These are issues I think that the government should not take lightly, because ahead of the election, we are already being told that the election in Edo State will be compromised. However, it is important for Godwin Obaseki himself to realize that he's having served 2 terms as governor, he's now in the position of a statesman. He's the chief security officer of Edo State. When he's asked to support the cause of peace, even if it is in a symbolic manner, he should not be the person that will say, we will not sign. What is he saying? Is he saying that September 21 in Edo State will be a declaration of war? Already, the Inspector General of Police visiting Benin has made it clear that, the police is non-partisan. Even if there was one blessing, whatever his name is, who was said to be a supernumerary police officer who has been disowned by the police, making a lot of inflammatory statements. So his political season, the governor should stay on the side of peace. Even if he's going to sign that, he's going to ask his candidate or the candidate of his party to sign that document for symbolic reasons. I think Asue Ighodalo should be part of that peace accord signing ceremony today. In all of this, nobody is talking about the 2.8 million electorate in Edo State. What we hear is that 35 million policemen will be deployed. 8,000 additional security officers will be deployed. Total, 43,000. An election should not be war. The people of Edo State must be given every opportunity to determine who is going to lead them and who is going to, be the governor of that state, after Godwin Obaseki. Godwin Obaseki should be, should play the role of a leader and not help those he's criticizing to say that he was the one that caused the problem.
So I'd like to commend the spirit behind the National Peace Committee, especially what they aim to do, which is to ensure that an environment, a conducive environment, a peaceful environment during elections is guaranteed by bringing together the principal candidates in an election and getting them to sign the peace accord where they, as a moral intervention, because they don't have constitutional rights to arrest anyone who infringes on what they've agreed on. But the spirit of it should be commended. However, my point this morning is, what's the point of symbolism and gestures if it doesn't carry any weight? If you evaluate the previous signing of the accord, what did the parties go on to do? If you look at the last elections in 2023, the 18 major political parties came together and symbolically signed the peace accord. But we saw what happened during the elections. We saw the ethnic rhetoric. In fact, the National Peace Committee released a report saying that there were many infractions. 44% of those infractions done by surrogates and about 14% of those infractions done by the candidates themselves. So if they haven't fixed those challenges, why are we coming to sign another peace accord when it sparks of hypocrisy? Why are we signing peace accords when the governor, at least in this instance, has come out to say that the other party are not suing for peace? And when they do sign these accords, it doesn't mean anything. And then the Nigerian people suffer. And so rather than a peace accord that doesn't seem to have worked in the past, because we have been witnesses to elections in Nigeria where we have seen this big show of coming together, of shaking hands, and then the opposite happens on election day, where people make ethnic slurs, where people come out to actually harm and overthrow ballot boxes sponsored by some political parties who signed the peace accord. And I wonder why we're going about signing peace accords instead of actually dealing with the real issues, part of which is building strong institutions. In a case where we have accusations of the state that is meant to prosecute anyone who is, who goes against these accords or who acts criminally during elections, said to be or accused of being partisan or siding with a particular political party, that's a great concern. And that's what we should be looking at rather than asking people to come out to sign peace accords. And that's why I can almost understand the sentiment of the governor of Edo State saying that there's no point signing a peace accord if we don't deal with the real issues. If they don't look at removing or at least sending away the resident electoral commissioner in the state, saying that he has been compromised. If they don't look into his allegations of the commissioner of police, who they say has alignment with a certain individual who is seen to be with a particular political party. Until we are ready to have those conversations, let's do away with peace accords for now and stop being hypocritical about the process. Rather, let us fix the real problem so that we can have more credible, free, fair, and peaceful elections in Nigeria. Well, it's time now for